In this video, you will learn how to use AI to build a quiz funnel that explodes your email list, and specifically how to use ChatGPT to build out your quiz. And I think you can speed up the process a lot because typically quiz funnels can be a little bit cumbersome. It takes some time, but with the process my guest today is going to share with us, it can actually be a lot more efficient. So I have Jackie from Interact with me today, and she has seen everything when it comes to building a really successful quiz funnel that can bring in a lot of leads for your business. And if you're a creator, solopreneur, digital business owner, you can definitely have a quiz in your business to segment your audience in a better way, and you're gonna have a lot better quality as well when it comes to growing your email list and things like that. So warm welcome, Jackie.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Navid.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have talked a lot about quiz funnels in my days, so I know it's a topic that's dear to my heart. So it's kind of exciting to now see in the new age of AI how this can be implemented for doing something that can be a little bit complex, right? So before we get into that, like, why quiz funnels? What's the benefits of actually implementing this in your business?
Yeah, so quizzes generate leads. So you can grow your email list, and our quizzes, Interact quizzes, typically convert at 40%. So compare that to like a general opt-in form that you have on your site that will convert at 1 to 2%. So they have a much higher conversion rate because you're you are engaging your audience, requiring them to click through your quiz, talk about themselves by answering questions that you've asked in your quiz. And then all of that is doing segmentation automatically for you because your quiz is integrated with your email marketing system. So after someone answers the quiz questions, they're able to subscribe. And then once they subscribe, all of that tagging goes over into your email marketing system. So, this person got a beginner result versus this person got an advanced result. Then let's talk to the beginner differently, get them started and ramped up very differently than somebody who's advanced looking for, I don't know, best practices, hacks to get to the next level and things like that. So when somebody subscribes, you're not only growing your list at a faster rate, but you're segmenting them on very specific things that you've learned about them from the quiz that they've taken.
Yeah, and what type of quiz would you recommend someone get started with? Like, there's obviously different types of quizzes. Which ones are typically most efficient or easier to get started with?
Yeah, so at Interact, we have personality scored and assessment style quizzes. You've probably also heard of trivia quizzes, knowledge tests, and things like that. All of those quizzes could be the best quiz for your business. It really depends on what your goal is. So I would say the best quiz that you can make is one that is truly designed for your audience and the information that they are looking for. So what is the biggest question that your audience is asking you? That would probably be the best quiz that you could offer, because if everyone's wanting to know the answer to that question, they're going to take the quiz to find out.
Yeah, and what do you have some good examples of this? Like, because it should lead to your products and services you offer, I
Totally.
guess. In most cases, obviously, you're gonna make sales and build a profitable email list. So, what's some good examples of maybe some things you've seen, and maybe some people using Interact, for example?
Yeah, so at Interact, we created a quiz for ourselves, and so the question that everyone is always asking us is, which type of quiz should I make? And so we turn that into a quiz. So our quiz is literally titled, "What type of quiz is best for your business?" It's even on my shirt that I wore today.
That's why it's a good one, right? They started
Yeah,
with
I
this
love it.
question.
It's what
Yeah.
we get asked all of the time, and it's true.
Yep.
I mean, you're asking me that technically right now, right? Like, what's the best quiz to get started with? And so our quiz is designed to ask you a few questions about your business goals, what you're trying to achieve, and then it will land on, this was back before we had the AI feature, but it will land on different templates that would relate to your business that you could then finesse and edit and customize into your own brand and start using.
Yeah, and how do you, you typically, how many questions do you need in this kind of quiz? I've seen like a very simple segmentation survey on top of an opt-in form or something. That's better than nothing. But I think what we are talking about now is a set of a few questions, I guess 5 or a few more. Like, is
Yeah,
that what
it
we are
could
doing?
be, I mean, you want to have as few questions as you need to A, get people to the right quiz result, and then B, give you the information that you want to know about that person so you can properly segment them to lead them to the right offers that you want to give them from I don't know, whatever you're selling, a course, a free community, a webinar, things like that. So typically the sweet spot is 5 to 10 questions. But I say you want to have as few as possible because think about it. If your ideal customer is scrolling around online and they randomly find this quiz, they have to take the time to answer those questions and get to the result. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them to get through all of the questions, and having a 30-question quiz can be a barrier to that. So I say have as few as possible, but it's typically between 5 and 10 will get you the information you need and get someone to the proper result that they're looking for.
Yeah, because you need like the outcome pages and stuff like that after, so I have a few. But
Totally.
but let's get into the AI and ChatGPT now, because let's say you don't have a quiz idea. I guess you can come up with your quiz idea using AI even. I don't know how you train people, but yeah, I mean that might be if you don't have any idea right now, maybe you're just kind of getting started. Maybe you can showcase how this is done using ChatGPT, because first you need the idea and then you need to come up with your questions and stuff like that. So you can walk us through this to make it really actionable here for people.
Yeah, so let me share my screen. And we actually just recently launched a free tool. So this is in addition to Interact AI, where you can go to a page, and I'll show you this after, add in your information, and you'll have an entire quiz made for you, dropped right into your Interact account. But if you're just trying to sort of brainstorm, get ideas on, okay, a quiz sounds cool, but what could this actually look like for me and my business? If you go to ai.tryinteract.com/tools, you will get on this page. And then right here is our quiz title generator. So I don't know, Navid, tell me something that you would want to make a quiz about. Is there any like topics or maybe customers that may be listening to this? What are they?
Yeah, I mean, what would be interesting? I mean, I used to do a lot of like blog posts for tools and stuff like that. So something I could think, I mean, email marketing software. What's the best one for you? There's a bunch of them, right? So we can like help them choose the right email marketing software for a specific person, like a creator, solopreneur, digital business owner, more seasoned entrepreneur, and then basically on this, let's say someone would come to that blog post, then they could then get some help with this, and then I would use affiliate links to drive revenue from this quiz, which is I've seen this working pretty efficiently in other places.
Yeah, I've made that exact quiz before, actually, to be honest with you, for one of
my
partners. Yeah. But I mean, this is within the title generator. All you really need to do, you don't have to know how to use ChatGPT in order to use this tool. I just typed in, I want to tell my audience which email marketing software they should use. That's it. And then just click on generate titles, and a list of titles will appear here. I was already thinking when you were saying that, what's the best email marketing software for you? That's probably the title I would go with for this, where then you would ask a series of questions. What do you do in your business? What are your biggest pain points? What are you looking to make tasks? Which tasks are you looking to make faster? And then based on that, maybe, what's your budget, right? That might play into this. Based on how they're answering those questions in your quiz, a result would surface at the end of, hey, you should use MailChimp versus ConvertKit versus Flowdesk, or whatever the case might be, whichever affiliate marketing links you have or want to showcase. And so this, what I'm showing you now isn't going to build the whole quiz, but it'll just get you thinking of what's your email marketing software style? Maybe if someone were taking that quiz, instead of being like, hey, you should use Flowdesk, it would say, your style is all based on designs and graphics and images, and your brand really likes to showcase what things look like. Therefore, Flowdesk might be a good option for you because it's all about design.
Yeah, or for example, if you're e-commerce, maybe you would use Klaviyo or something like that.
Totally.
So, yeah,
and you can already see how those would become questions within the quiz that you're asking, which, if I go back, you could use the quiz questions generator of
this. Just a question regarding this. This is like using like OpenAI, basically their API, like the ChatGPT, or how?
This tool, I'm not going to explain this very technically, I don't think, but this tool was built by our engineer team here at Interact, and in the back end, it's pulling from ChatGPT or OpenAI in order to be able to generate these responses this
But
quickly,
you have done it,
but
you
in
have
our
trained
format.
it basically. You have basically trained it, so it's more because you can train your model basically. So it's like more in. For example, you guys focus on quizzes, so it's like gonna give you a lot better results than if you would go maybe directly to ChatGPT and doing this. I'm assuming that's what I've seen in other like specific tools for specific use cases.
Yeah, and I can show you, like, just to jump around here. So now I'm in ChatGPT, right? So if you were
Yeah.
to say, I want to make a quiz titled, which email marketing software should I use? Should I use? I'm going to copy a prompt that we have from over here that you can't see, but it's in a blog post that Navid will be sharing.
I will link up some resources in the description here. So if you have any questions, be sure to let us know. And
Yeah.
if you want to check out Interact, you can also get some. We'll get to that, but you can go to navid.links/interact and you can try it out, and you can get access to the AI builder and stuff like that for doing this.
Yeah. So you can see here, so I told AI or ChatGPT, I want to make a quiz titled, which email marketing software should I use? So I found that from the AI title generator tool we have. This prompt here is, I don't know what I want the outcomes of the quiz to be, right? Just make them up for me. And you can see, because AI knows the internet, it's giving me MailChimp, Constant Contact, and Send in Blue, right? What would make this prompt even better is if you gave it the actual outcomes that you would want it to surface. So, if you don't have a MailChimp affiliate link, why would you want to have MailChimp surface in a result, right? So then in that case, going back to grab another prompt.
Yeah, if you would like to make some money, I guess it's, I mean, a bit also like you should be authentic with your recommendations, but usually,
exactly.
I mean, I would
This
probably
works,
recommend,
right?
for me,
Yeah.
I would recommend something like ConvertKit or GetResponse or ActiveCampaign or, tools I've used.
Yeah, so watch this. So let's just look really quick. So it's saying use MailChimp because it's a user-friendly interface, robust features, you can create email campaigns. Can't they all do that? It's like pretty generic,
Yeah.
Whereas Constant Contact, it's comprehensive tool, excellent customer support. Okay, so that's a different angle for sure. Customer support, being able to contact someone in person, versus Send in Blue, has advanced automation features, so maybe not something for the beginners. It's scalable, so it'll grow with you, with your business. They seem like they're fine. Those answers, those results are fine. They could make for great recommendations. But if I delete this and I take this prompt and change it to, I want to make the quiz titled, I'm sorry, I just have to change this because we have like fillers in here. So I want to make the quiz, which email marketing software should you use? Now let me give it actual responses. So Navid, you said you use ConvertKit was one of them?
Yeah, I use ConvertKit. I've used a lot of tools, but right now for my business, I use ConvertKit because I feel it's the best one for, a creator like myself.
Best for creators. Is there any specific feature that you really like on ConvertKit?
Just like that it's really easy to use, while they have some advanced features, like they also have their referral program together with Sparkloop, which is included in the Creator Pro plan, which I really like. So that makes it really worth it. And the other tools don't have that, for example. They have great automation features. So I feel it's maybe not as advanced as ActiveCampaign. I've used this before, but it's enough for my needs, basically. So yeah.
Cool. So you can see like what I'm typing in here is nothing fancy. I'm literally just talking to it as you were talking to me, or typing to it as you were talking to me. ActiveCampaign, I'm literally just going to say here, best for advanced automations. And then just so we can have one more, I'm going to say Flowdesk, and this is great for designs and creating visuals around your brand, right? So when you tell AI this, we're giving it the outcomes that we want it to put out, but we're also giving it reasons as to why we're recommending these different softwares. When you get these results, they just come out so much better because they're kind of they're written more in our voice because we've given it details as to what to talk about. But it's also going to go into these different angles that we clearly expressed. So ConvertKit's all about the creators, ActiveCampaign is all about advanced automations, and Flowdesk is all about design. That's what these results are going to encompass. And the better the result is, the more accurate it is to the recommendations that you would actually make, the better questions AI is also going to give you to really build out the full quiz, because it's going to ask questions and answer them, so the multiple choice answers people can pick from, that are very specific to these things for the reasons that we are recommending these different products.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's continue a little bit with what else people would need. Obviously, let's say they come up with this. What's the next step in the process to actually continue to develop their quiz?
Yeah, so and this is quiz strategy in general. I don't think this will ever change. Before we had the AI feature, I was leading a 5-week coaching program to help
Nice.
people launch their quiz. So we took something that took 5 weeks of coaching down into a couple of minutes of filling out a form because of AI, which I think is amazing. The other awesome thing is we can translate the quizzes into any language because of AI as well.
Uh-huh.
So the customer base that we're now able to support has just grown tenfold, because we can reach more people with different backgrounds and demographics, but we can also work way faster to support more people because we're only a team of 10 people.
Yeah, you know what I like about this? Like with with AI, a criticism has been always like it's generic and stuff like that. But when you're developing a quiz, you're actually gonna come up with your own recommendations typically, or your own path for people to take. So it's gonna be actually personalized, but you're just speeding up the process by implementing strategies here. Because as you saw, I was telling Jackie a few of my reasons for liking ConvertKit, and then she would put that in, and then it puts it out like that gives us the output basically. So it's actually really, really cool that you can do this a lot faster. You said 5 weeks before, now we can do this really quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm
And you
thinking
can
like,
see,
something you told me, like I'm thinking of how to use this for summits more as well, to kind of give people a good path. Maybe we can talk about this later.
Yeah. Ellen Yin just launched a podcast that we're going to turn into a blog post on how she used a quiz at a live event. And then me and my colleague Jasmine are coming off of the Nashville Travel Summit, where we also learned using a quiz at the event was way better in terms of capturing leads than trying to get them to submit our AI request form. So lots more content coming out on that. So we can for sure dive into different use cases of
So cool.
where quizzes work outside of just putting them on your website and your blog as well. But just to go back to what you were saying about how we're able to sort of teach ChatGPT what we want it to say, is this sentence was nothing fancy. Like I was saying, there's no punctuation really in here. It's just me taking notes. I could have come up with this cool little paragraph, but I didn't need to, because AI is taking my idea and putting it into a complete thought for me, which I love because I'm not a great writer.
Yeah. Let's say you are struggling a little bit, what topic to now I was clear. I wanted to do this for affiliate marketing, right? But let's say you are struggling a little bit. How would you, is that something AI can help with? Like I mean, you can, maybe you're like a weight loss coach for women or something like that, for women in their 40s, or I don't know, something like this. And you're struggling a little bit. There's a lot of competition, so what would you do in this situation?
Yeah, so I hope AI ChatGPT doesn't embarrass me, because sometimes it messes with this.
I put you on the spot,
Yeah, let me just let's see. Let me open up a new window. We're gonna start over again, because then we can come back to that quiz, because the next step would be, because I know we're going all over it, was going to be questions. But yeah, if you're not clear on your idea, either use that AI title generator tool, or the prompt for this could be, what's the best quiz idea? Actually, sorry, I forgot something. Navid, what's your website?
My website is navid.me.
Okay, so let's just say I am navid.me, you said?
Well, this is my personal website with all my content, blog posts and stuff like that. Yeah.
So let's see. If we were to make a quiz for that, I am navid.me. What's the primary concept of what I do? Now, I say I hope ChatGPT doesn't embarrass me, because it used to read
Maybe
this
they
prompt.
embarrass me. I have a lot of stuff on there, so I haven't.
No, it used to read websites really well, but now what I do in this case is I'm going to open up a new website, and I go to this site called Through, and then I'll just paste in, I think it has to have the HT. So this is scraping the text from your website. So I'll just copy this
My God.
I'll put it into ChatGPT. So I'm just telling them, hey, I am, right? I'm Navid. And then the prompt that I had put in was, oops, right here. What's the best quiz idea for my business to engage my website visitors and generate leads? Write the quiz idea as a question and print it out like this. So that's the prompt that we use. Hit submit, and then it's going to give me the one quiz idea that I could use. I could add in here, I don't know. What do you think about that title, Navid? What type of digital entrepreneur are you for your site?
I mean, what type? Probably like something I've seen some people do. What type of entrepreneur are you? Like maybe like, or digital could work too. Digital, it could work. That would be more of a general quiz. It's not as specific. Like if I just wanted to, maybe that would be for my newsletter or something like that, which is more general, and that could work. But probably wouldn't be for like a specific program. You know, that probably should be more specific in some cases, but either way I could maybe group them together and see who would be a good fit based on this question, because it is a pretty broad question though. So
And sometimes a broad quiz question is actually great because you
okay.
can't really restrict who is reading a blog or who is coming
Uh-huh.
to your site for whatever reasons, right?
Yeah.
And so if it were something broad like this, what type of digital entrepreneur are you? Where the results where you're an email marketer, you're a social media influencer, you're a blogger, right? Then you could
Amazing.
recommend different softwares, different programs, different offers, different resources to those people based on the type of entrepreneur
I
they
might
are.
actually do this now that you're saying this.
Yeah, because
It could be good.
again, when they land on your email list because they've subscribed through the quiz, then you know they're a blogger versus an
Mm.
email marketer versus a copywriter versus whatever
Yeah.
they might be, whatever type of entrepreneur they might be.
Yeah, you're right, because it's, as you said, it's a very broad. The traffic, you cannot control it. Who's coming to the site, of course. So that's, and then you might turn them away. But they could actually be a good fit in some shape or form. So
Yeah. And
yeah, yeah.
I think of those brands that they started out doing something. So like Jenna Kutcher, for example,
Hmm.
started out with her $300 Craigslist camera.
Yeah.
She grew an entire business, created an entire business off of that. So then she pivoted into, let me teach other photographers how to create a business online. Now she's shifting into more of a lifestyle brand where I've even seen things on her page about house interior home design tips because
Hmm.
she's rebuilding her house or she's rebuilding a home. And so you don't know when someone's going to jennakutcher.com, why are they coming there? Because she's a mom, because she's an entrepreneur, because she's a photographer. So
Yeah.
this way, if you can segment that out in your quiz questions, when they show up in your email list, you know, oh my gosh, okay, they're trying to grow their own business. Let me give them those resources versus, oh, they're trying to, build a beautiful house. Let me share my stuff on, how I'm designing my new home.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. So what? So now we have some questions there, I guess. So what
Yeah, so
more?
what's here is, so when you were saying that, I'm not sure that I would want to use that quiz title. What I told ChatGPT here was, okay, write 10 more options. I would prefer to make it more specific to email marketing softwares that I would recommend. And so here are 10 more title options or quiz titles that you could go with that are more aligned with the email marketing side of your business, because that's what we were talking about before.
Yeah, I mean, that was more like just for affiliate marketing blog post. That would only be one specific blog post on the site that I
Totally.
would use this quiz. But probably for my general email list or my products, I wouldn't use such a quiz. That would be just to drive affiliate. But I think this entrepreneur quiz, I kind of like it for just getting people onto a newsletter, or maybe even segment from a newsletter if I already had a list and sending people there. That could be pretty. And I've seen like Ryan Levesque, for example, using something like what's the best funnel type for your business. I think that's a pretty good one if you're dealing with sales funnels or yeah, stuff like that. So I do
Yeah.
like that type of quiz.
Cool. So then if I leave this like this, so it gave me the title, what type of digital entrepreneur are you? And this again, all was from AI reading your site and then deciding what the best quiz title was based on this goal of growing your email list. So now I'm using that same prompt that I showed you in the email marketing one of, okay, I don't know what I want these outcomes to be. What would you recommend? And so now it's telling us these would be your quiz results. The type of digital entrepreneur you are is a lifestyle entrepreneur, a passionate creator, which I definitely think fits within your audience, and the strategic innovator. I
Okay.
asked for 3. If you wanted, you can see though, like if you wanted to change that to the affiliate marketer, the passionate creator, and the email marketer, I don't know, something like that,
Yeah.
then it would align more with your audience because we're telling AI this is what I want to focus the quiz on, because you know your customer better than AI is going to be able to read your website. So that's where you implement like your own human element into using AI so you get better responses from it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else? Like now we have some things to focus on, like the groups of people. What's next? Like you need some pages, I guess, and what like the all like after this you need, I guess, all the questions to ask, right? You didn't
Yeah,
get
so this is your quiz title, right? That's going to be
yeah.
what people see to click in to take your quiz.
Yeah.
The next step, strategy-wise, when you're making a quiz, is focus on the results. Okay, so now that we know what the quiz question is, who are the different people that are going to be taking the quiz? What sort of buckets or outcomes do we want to give them? Do we want to put them into? And then you can write your questions, because now that you know who the results or where the results are going at the end of the quiz, you can come up with questions that make the most sense to get people to these specific results. So if there were any specific questions that you would want to ask your audience, you can, of course, write them yourself. Or we have this prompt that will...
Magic prompt.
It's so fun, Navid, because sometimes they'll be like, ha, ChatGPT, take that. Like, what are you going to say? Like, I can't even think of something to respond to this, right? But there it goes. It just like types it out, whatever it needs. And I'm like, that, okay, you got me. That was a good one.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
So here we go. What motivates you to start your own business? And you can see there's an answer A and then an answer A score. So this is saying that if someone chooses the freedom to work from anywhere and set my own hours, that's going to point to the lifestyle entrepreneur result, versus somebody who wants to express their creativity will go to the passionate creator, and somebody who enjoys solving problems is going to go to the strategic innovator.
Okay, very cool. Okay, great. I mean, in a little bit, we can also show, maybe you have some examples like on a site what it actually looks like live, but we can continue with this, and then we'll show some real examples, from, maybe some of your clients or maybe from Interact.
Yeah, totally. So after you're done with writing the questions, the next pieces of the quiz would be that opt-in form. So after someone is answering these questions, you want them to subscribe. Within the resources Navid's going to share, you'll have this prompt. And that is to write the actual opt-in form. So now I want to write copy for an opt-in form that comes up at the end of the quiz. The format will be a heading, something captivating that makes them want to subscribe. And then in the subheading, you want people, when they get to this form, AI or not, whether you're making your quiz with AI or not, you want people to get really excited to want to subscribe. So give them an idea or a little preview of what it is that they're going to get by doing that. They're going to get resources for the right email marketing system they should use. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. So
I was gonna ask you this. Do you give them something like, they can get the results, right? They can get, this is the best email marketing software, or you are entrepreneur A, or lifestyle entrepreneur, or passionate creator, or whatever. So what do you give them on the last step? Do you give them like sometimes a PDF or a video or like some kind of resource? What have you found working the best to actually get the highest conversion rate on the last step to opt in, which is kind of the goal of this?
Yeah, so again, it would be on the opt-in form itself, getting really specific with why somebody would want to subscribe, because that's also calling in your ideal customers as opposed to just anybody who might end up on your list but not actually really want to be there, So in this case, we're saying, okay, are you ready to embrace your entrepreneurial journey? Join the email list so you can get tips, strategies, and insights so that you can do that thing. Somebody who's taking a quiz, which type of digital entrepreneur are you, is probably going to want these insights and tips and resources, so would subscribe. Another sort of related question to this that I get asked all the time is, can you sell from your result page? So, okay, I got to the which email marketing software should you use results of MailChimp, and are people going to sign up and buy right there? And honestly, the answer is it depends. If this person has been researching for a while, has been on your review blogs, maybe they're more warmed up to the idea of needing the system. If they're at the point in their business where they need to start growing their email list now, then maybe they would sign up and buy from your affiliate link right from the result page. But if I'm just doing my research and I'm not really serious about my business yet, I don't even have a website, I probably am not going to buy MailChimp right away, or any email marketing software software that you try to sell me, because I'm not ready for it yet. And that's where getting me to subscribe and keeping me engaged in the emails, reminding me that it's important to start an email list, maybe even before you launch your website, then all of those things will start getting me prepared to want to buy it. So that when you go to pitch it to me in the email sequence, I'm very likely going to use that system because you've gotten me the whole time. I don't feel like you're just trying to sell me something to sell me something. It feels like you actually care about me because you've learned about me in your quiz, and then you're giving me the information in the emails that follow that I'm actually looking for. It's actually useful and valuable. It's going to lead to less
Yeah,
unsubscribes. It's going to
it is
lead to
pretty
more
cool.
opens.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool that you collect this information because you segment people. They are interested in this is the best email software for them, right? So then you can actually segment. You might not pitch ConvertKit, but what I would do on the last outcome or results page, probably if it was regarding affiliate marketing, I would probably have a video where I'd like show some cool features that would be really relevant to them, and not just not in a salesy way or anything, just kind of as an informational video. I think that might even push them over the edge, or like have a special deal, like a trial. I would try to like work out a deal with the tool to have like instead of maybe a 14-day trial, I have a 30-day free trial or something like that, and I would give them to that, and maybe even a bonus for subscribing, like you get an extra tutorial from me showcasing how I use this in my business. I think that would convert better. This is specifically for affiliate marketing, but I can see even, let's say this was this entrepreneur quiz, right? You're getting people to subscribe to your maybe you have that for on top of the newsletter. So instead of just having sign up for my newsletter like every other person, and I have that too, so I'm not gonna say every person has that.
It's a great place to start.
Yeah. But you could maybe take this to the next level by adding a quiz on top that you actually segment your audience, and then you're gonna have a better quality, and then you can market to them in a more specific way. So yeah, totally. I think that's pretty cool. So
yeah, and e-commerce sites a lot of times on that opt-in form will add a coupon, like, hey, if you subscribe, we'll email you a coupon. Because also remember the goal that you don't necessarily want to give everything away on that quiz result page. You want them to go check their email. You want them to know who you are. You want to not show up in their spam, maybe you just want them to buy right away. If that's the goal, then yeah, you probably should definitely add as many tips and resources and value for this person on the quiz result page. Also, I'll say that videos convert really well on that page in terms of connecting with the people who have taken your quiz, because it actually feels like you took the time just out of your day, right, to say hello. But like, it's the same video for everybody.
No, but I would probably also have like some, like I have the video because then they see me, they like connecting like we do here on a video, but also like maybe having something they can only get in their email inbox. So they need to confirm that email. Let's say it's from ConvertKit, hit, confirm your email, and then they get this PDF or a report or whatever that is, right? That can be some kind of resource. And I think that is more efficient. I think that would actually convert better than just sign up for my newsletter, which a lot of people have now. So it's not as special anymore, I think, to just sign up to, there's a million newsletters, but there's actually, before it was the opposite. I mean, I don't know how long, you have probably seen a lot online, right? Before it was more specific. Now everyone has a newsletter, but like to get onto the newsletter, you can have something more specific so they actually get some kind of resource of value to subscribe to that newsletter. And then you stand out, in comparison to all the other ones. That could be a quiz, and maybe you get some kind of gift on the other side. So yeah.
And that's my favorite way for anyone thinking of using a quiz. That's my favorite way to do it, is take a nurture sequence or your newsletter that goes out weekly or monthly, however often, whatever cadence you have. Take a workflow or an automation that you already have built, that you're already sending to your audience, and make the quiz off of that. Put the quiz in front of that funnel and just see the difference in how it converts. Because then you're just making the quiz and you don't have to write emails for the quiz, different results, right? There can be a ton of work that goes into building out an entire quiz funnel, but to start, it doesn't have to be that hard. I always recommend, if you have a sequence especially that you're trying to push, right? Or for a certain time of year, Black Friday is coming up. Just create a quiz based on that one funnel or several funnels that you want to send different people down, right? And see how that converts, because you're going to save yourself a lot of time by doing that, especially if you're using AI to build the quiz.
What? Okay, there's something that, because I've used this for launches, like a bucket segmentation survey, like just on top of an opt-in form, not a full-blown quiz, but we customized a few things in the emails based on the results.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of what can take a lot of time, like to custom. If you have like, let's say you have 4 different buckets or groups of people, right? Or even more. Sometimes you have maybe 5 groups or something. That can take quite a bit of time if you want to customize this. So what do you recommend for someone starting out in this? Like let's say they have the outcome pages, they have different results, 4 to 5 results, right? So what do you recommend in terms of actually making sure the emails they get are also in some form custom? Is that something you would recommend people do?
Yes, when the time is right. I'm a fan of done is better than perfect. So should you make an entire quiz with a fully fledged out email sequence where each sequence is different for the 5 different results that someone could get in your quiz, that probably would be the best version of it, but you don't have to launch it that way, because what happens if when you launch the quiz, people aren't actually interested in that topic, or they're not getting through all of your quiz questions? You've just spent a ton of time building out an entire email sequence that no one will ever see if they're not getting through the quiz, right? And so I'm a fan of put the quiz out there, attach it to your main newsletter flow to start, or create one specific email for each of the results, just one to get started, and then put them into the funnel. See how it goes. Is everybody getting the same result, right? You could find that everyone in your audience is all, or bulk of them are getting the same result. Then just build out that specific workflow. Work on the next, biggest one. Work on that next.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of doing it in stages and doing it slow, because if you really do try to do it all at once, it can become overwhelming, tiresome, burn yourself out, and then forget this project. I'll just do it later,
totally.
and you never get back to it.
It can take a lot of time, but you can actually, what I have done is to just customize like a line or 2 in each email. Like let's say they are a beginner, and then I would talk to them, if you're just starting out, blah, blah, blah. Or if you're a seasoned business owner, I just changed the language slightly. It's a very subtle change, but it still makes a difference when they're reading this. And that is a good start. Maybe you can do more than that, but that's at least a good start to actually showcase. And you can do that depending on the software you're using. You can based on tags or segments, or I usually do it with custom fields a lot of times, like with these things, but it gets a little more advanced for sure.
So, well, I was going to say the best way to do that using a quiz is within Interact. You can tag people or put them into a segment or a list, whatever, based on the way they're answering a specific question. So you could have a merge field of question 2, whatever it asks, and then just use that merge field of hey, in the quiz, you said you're a beginner. You've been in business for 5 years. Whatever the answer is, right? Whatever that merge field is, will change out based on what that person actually said in the quiz. So it feels very custom, but you've only created one email.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. And also, I think we talked about this before on another call. I think you do, for example, with ConvertKit, you work with custom fields, because maybe someone right now they're a beginner, but in a few months they are more advanced. So that changes. With tags, is more static. It's set, basically. You signed up for this opt-in form, then you have a tag, or you purchase this product. But when you're going through a quiz, you can actually change it. Like when you segment your audience, they can change this over time. That's why I tend to use custom fields for this. And I think you guys work with this with most providers, at least. So that's pretty useful. Yeah. Why don't we show some examples in the wild, so people can see what this looks like, built with Interact, or, kind of so people can see the flow.
Yeah, let's see. Well, I said Jenna Kutcher earlier, and she's the first one coming to mind, so that's who I'm going to pull up.
I mean, I've seen she's using Interact before. You have some pretty big clients with using it, so it's good.
So this is Jenna's main website, and right here up at the top is a link to her quiz. Also,
take the level up quiz.
Okay. Yep. So the level up quiz is one quiz that she offers. Now I'm scrolling because there used to be one. There used to be a secret sauce quiz that was here.
Is this embedded? Is this?
This is embedded right on her page. So if you click it, actually she changed it. So yeah, this is embedded on her own page. You can't see the URL, but it is. She used to have it where, and sorry. Look, it keeps changing tabs. So when I clicked it, this is what popped up. She's sending me here now to take the quiz.
So this is
Okay.
what Interact looks like. So this is just to build out in the Interact software, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just want to come back here real quick. It used to be where if you clicked take the quiz would appear embedded right here within the site. So you can do either one. You can
Okay.
also have it pop up and have them take it
Very
from the
cool.
page.
So you have many different options depending on how you want to do it. So
Yeah,
great.
exactly. And the look that you're trying to achieve. You can put it as an announcement bar like she had up at the top. You can have it as the pop-up, whatever you like. You can link it within text. But
Nice.
yeah, this is the questions are embedded. Here's that opt-in form. So
She didn't have too many questions, right?
I can go back to them if you want. I did click through them.
Yeah, maybe you did a little bit fast. Let's see.
So this is the first question. Which best describes you?
Okay, great.
Do you want me to answer any specific way?
No, just do whatever. I mean, it's a little bit small for me, but for the audience, it will be bigger.
Now, this question is interesting because I have a feeling that this question is doing some segmentation for her. What is the one thing that you want to be doing in the next 90 days? This would make a very good follow-up email if you said you wanted to do this thing in the next 90 days.
Here's how you're going to get targeted that done. To her because she has different courses. So it's probably what kind of things she will talk about to this segment more. So,
and these top 3 relate to growing an email list.
Yeah, and she has some kind of email
product. This is sales
product.
on Pinterest.
Yeah, this is exactly targeted to her products. It's really smart. I mean, that's what we talked about before, right? So you wanna, if you are starting out, it's harder, but you should still think about how you can get people through whatever you want them to get to the next step. And that's what Jenna is more seasoned now, so she may probably had many iterations of this kind of quiz or what she's doing, but now she has these products and she's leading them exactly to it. And then she can follow up. You said you wanted to grow on Pinterest, and otherwise they basically hold them accountable a little bit, which is really cool.
Yeah, and look at this question. What's the biggest reason that you haven't done this yet? So this is like the barrier that's always getting in your way. You're confused by the tech. Okay, in your email sequence, let me send you tech demos. Let me, book a strategy call so I can show you how to get this thing done, versus struggling to stay consistent. Send them a calendar planner. Maybe there's like accountability sessions that you offer, right? So like you can see how, and to be honest, I don't know the back end of this quiz, so I don't know exactly where each answer is going to point us to. But I have a feeling because I know quiz strategy. And you can see just from us talking about this, like where these different things will point to, because we're answering it completely different. What is this? On a scale of yesterday to I'm not sure, how soon do you want to do that thing? If someone's saying like yesterday, they want it done now, okay, then this would probably be a good person you could pitch to right away. They're wanting to put in the work now. They're wanting to get it done. Here's the next steps to have that happen as soon as possible.
Yeah,
versus I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can also tag, for example, in this case, when they're saying they're interest in Pinterest or Instagram or growing an email list, then you can also tag them to like as an interest in this topic, and then because then you can send them more emails about this. Maybe have some blog posts or podcast episodes or whatever. You can actually educate them. They might, just because they're saying they're interested, they might not want to purchase right away, but over time they might, and you just send them more and more information, and they eventually will be interested to pull the trigger. Like sometimes you need many touch points with your audience.
But again, specific to the thing they want to do. If they're trying to grow Pinterest, don't be sending them stuff about Instagram, right? Because then that could lead to unsubscribes or they're not going to read it. But if the content you're sending them is constantly, consistently about their goal, what it is they've told you they want to do in the next 90 days, then exactly when it comes time to they are ready to buy, they're going to buy through you because you've supported them up to that point this whole time. You've given them free resources, free, trainings or whatever you might offer. Leading them up to that because it's so relevant to what it is they're looking to do.
Let's check what this outcome looks like.
Yeah, let's see. So here we get to the
all right.
Opt-in form. And then Jenna designs her own quiz result pages. So this is on her own website. Within Interact, she's just rerouting the person who got this result to this page. And I answered on that question of what am I trying to do in the next 90 days? I answered this. I'm ready to refresh my website or something about website design. And so here's what I want to do. Watch the masterclass, listen to the podcast, and then grab a template. to build my
Because
website.
this
Atonic
is
Template
using
is the
this.
brand.
I think that's what she's using for her website. I think I've seen it. So yeah, so this makes sense for her audience, right? So there's like really basically really congruent with what she's doing. So I mean, so you can basically point to a custom page, whatever you design, or you can have an interact one, right?
Correct. Yep. And I can show you what an interact result page
Yeah.
looks like. One thing I want to call out, which is really smart that she does right here, is listen on the podcast. I see so many quizzes linked to like your main podcast page, which is overwhelming as a user, right? I have to then decide which podcast episode do I want to listen to. If there are like 670 of them, she's saying tune into this episode with my web designer on the 3 questions you should ask before redesigning your website. So she's hooking me with that one episode. I don't really have to think about, which one do I want to listen to. She's telling me to listen to that one. Okay. And if I like it, then I'm going to keep listening to more and more episodes, then I can spend the time to, and probably also that podcast is going to link to the next one too.
This is
you
so
can see
smart. I could see this working, for example, with affiliate marketing or anything you're doing as well, because you can have like an episode, if you have a podcast or a video, whatever, you can have an episode, you can try to contact the founder. Let's say I wanted to talk about ConvertKit, I have an interview with Nathan Barry or something like that. Or if you talked about Interact or quizzes, I could like talk to you, for example, and then we can like go over that. That would build a relationship and deepen this with the audience, so they actually trust the software or the product more. And that's what Jenna is doing in this case, to actually make them trust, her audience to trust to buy these templates, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is really nice.
And when you click on, because this is on her own page, you can use like UTM parameters or something within the link to say, where are people clicking? Is everybody really interested in the masterclass? Is everybody going to the podcast? Are people grabbing the tonic template? Are they not doing one of these things? And you can then decide, okay, people really like the podcast. Let me lead with that more often. Or, hey, they clicked the podcast from the result email. Let me send them more podcast episodes versus the funnel that sends them through the masterclass.
Yeah, so let's show people an interact example. Let's say you just want to get something up quicker, but this page from Jenna is pretty simple anyway. It's not like something crazy, so you can see probably she just wanted it more on brand. I'm not sure exactly what you can do in Interact, but that will be interesting to check.
So really quick, I want to show you, this is her other quiz, your secret sauce. I'm going to skip through the questions really quickly because in this result page that she's created.
Yep.
Sorry, Jenna, I must be on your list too many times. I hope you delete me. This result page is much longer form. It's on brand. Look, I get multiple podcast episodes here. So this page is sort of designed to like hook me in and keep me here so I can read more about myself. But I also promise you, if you read this, she does a really good job of making you feel so connected to the result that you're like, oh my God, Jenna gets me. Like she actually took the time to listen to me. So I think this sort of strategy of creating a longer form result page, could be good for SEO, keeping people on the page longer, but also could go a long way in building that relationship, that connection, which is something that's important for her brand. If that's not important for your brand, then that's okay. Maybe a quick little paragraph message at the end is all you need. There's lots of different ways you can style your results pages. Let's look for an interact one.
Yeah, probably for something like more broad, or something that actually, let's say for a newsletter or something, you can have like a longer results page. Like if it was like, what type of entrepreneur or digital entrepreneur are you, maybe you would have some more content, because there's it's kind of a broader question, like then what email marketing software is best for you. So yeah, you can do a little bit different. And also it's worth testing what works best for your audience. So
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So this is the quiz that we use. What's the best quiz for your business? And so you're able to add images in the answers, which is why these look slightly different than what Jenna's looked like with just the text. Which email marketing system to use. This is helpful for us to know. So if I'm selecting ConvertKit right now, that can be tagged in our email marketing system. We use HubSpot. And then that way, when it comes time for us to send you, hey, it's time to connect your quiz to ConvertKit, I can speak to the exact system that you use, as opposed to just being like tech in general, which can be overwhelming. Same thing for embedding the quiz on your site. You do it differently with WordPress and Shopify. So if I'm sending them specifically how to do it on WordPress, because I know they use WordPress, it just
Yeah.
makes for a better experience for
Now, this I
everybody.
really like that you can have like custom, you can have like, you can go to like flat icon or something. You can get really cool icons, for example, for
Yeah.
this. And it looks, you don't need to have like a designer for this. There's like Canva and stuff like that too. So
Yeah,
you
totally. And
can make it look
I
nice.
think these came from Canva. We're
Yeah.
going on the software theme, so I'll just select this here. And I have to be honest, Navid, I don't remember if these are our own result pages or not. So we're about to find out.
Let's
But
check.
just a quick call out. On this page, we make all of our quiz opt-in forms optional. So that's another way to see. Typically, you'll get less people subscribing from the quiz if you make the form optional. But of the people who do subscribe, they're typically way more qualified because they've chosen to be on your list. For example, this one asks, do you want a free 15-minute quiz strategy session? If you do, subscribe. If you don't, that's okay. It's not wasting our time of trying to get on calls with people who don't need to be on calls, but it's getting support to the people who actually need it much faster because they've told us they want it. So I'm just going to skip this. And
Yeah,
then
so basically,
here,
if they skip, they still get the result, but they don't get, you know,
I
maybe
haven't
more.
collected the email lead.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So no email went into HubSpot during that quiz session, but I, as the quiz taker, am still seeing the quiz result, which is right here. And this is built on an Interact quiz result page. So we're just typing the text in, formatting it, adding some screenshots of the quizzes that we would recommend this specific person to use. And then if they want to browse more, they can click this, and this will take them into our technology quiz template section where they can scroll and actually look at all of these templates and use them, put them into their account, things like that.
I mean, this is great. I think it's like for someone starting out or doing their first quiz. I mean, this is good enough. You can get started, and later you can customize your pages however you want. But it's like the most important is to get it up, you know, and testing so it's actually working, and then you can spend more time on it, right? So
Yeah,
done is
I
better
think
than
so too.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Because again, you go into all this trouble of designing the perfect quiz cover, right? Or, you know, perfecting it to whatever degree you're looking for. But then maybe that's not the best quiz topic that you should have went with. You know, maybe you want to change it up later. That goes into design time, especially if you're hiring out designers. They have to change it, right? So that's more money for that. When you could just test a simple version like this, you can change the font within Interact and the colors of your quiz. So I think you guys have seen from sharing the screen, there's different looks to these quizzes, but they essentially follow the same template. That's because you can customize the branding, even adding in your own logo where it says powered by Interact here on some of our plans, so that it really matches the aesthetic of your site, of your brand.
Yeah, totally. And just wrapping this up, like what's some mistakes you see people making when they are creating their quiz funnels? And let's just start in general first, and then maybe with the use of AI now. Like there's a lot of content coming up with this, but just in general, what's some mistakes people make?
I think the biggest mistake I see is people jump straight into what are the quiz questions that I'm going to be asking. And that's a mistake because if you're not clear on the topic, if you're not clear, or your title, if you're not clear on the results, then how do you know what to ask these people to get them to the right place? Right? So it's always better if you start backwards of, okay, this is where people are going to end up in the quiz. Now, what do I have to ask them to get them there? I think, and another thing is, oftentimes when people do that, the quiz question that they're thinking they're going to be asking is actually the title of the quiz that they want to be using. And so that's why I'd say would be a common mistake, is diving right into the questions when really you should think backwards of what's the end goal? People to get on your list, to make sales, to push a certain course, and then work backwards. What is somebody asking that would be qualified for that course? Use that as your title, or at least as the topic. Okay, now that you know this, it's digital entrepreneurs. What's the next level of that? You have email marketers, you have social media experts, you have, you know, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and where do you see like the future of AI kind of shaping this, and especially when it comes to quizzes and, you know, for lead generation?
Yeah.
How do you see this is getting better and easier with the time? I mean, I know you guys are working on some really cool stuff with Interact, but just kind of what you have seen with AI and where things are heading.
Yeah, so with Interact, we've always prided ourselves on we want to be the easiest quiz maker out there. And with these AI features, that's truly becoming possible. Because, like I said before, the quiz maker was easy during 5 weeks of coaching, but it was 5 weeks. That's a long time for one entrepreneur, especially someone who's running their own business by themselves, to invest time in just to make that one quiz, not even the email sequences that might go onto that, right? Not even spending, well, I guess the time to like embed it and stuff was included in there. But I think, I mean, you saw how many different versions of quizzes you could create on your own personal site, right? Like some specific to the email marketing blog, some specific just to your general website page. So I think with AI, people are going to be able to make more quizzes that get more specific to who they're looking for online so they can give them the right thing at the right time, which is ultimately what makes more sales.
Yeah, and something I forgot to ask is like about analyzing the results and like
Yeah.
optimizing with time. Maybe do you do some A/B split tests and stuff that's maybe a little more advanced, but like is that something you see as well? So you can actually, let's say something is not working on the
Yeah.
quiz, like they are not, they're not aligned with this answer or whatever. How do you tweak things and optimize and test things over time?
Yeah, so within the Interact dashboard, this is a quiz that we just used at the travel conference we went to. You're able to see how many people viewed the quiz, and then of those people who viewed it, how many clicked in to start it. So I always like to look at these stats before going into, like, people will call up, I don't know, call up, they'll reach out, and they'll be like, hey, my quiz isn't working. So if I look at these analytics and I see like no views, okay, you're not promoting the quiz, right? Like you're not getting eyes on it. So before you even try to change your quiz, just promote it, get it more visibility. Then we can look at, okay, of the people who viewed it, how many people clicked in to start the quiz? If that number of starts is low, then let's play around with the quiz title, maybe playing around with the quiz image, right? Because people are seeing the quiz, but they're not clicking to take it, which means it's not exciting enough for them to get that answer. So that's where you can definitely A/B test before changing more things of the quiz, right? Just simply changing out the title, running 2 different versions of the same quiz, right? But with a different cover on your sites, A/B splitting that audience and seeing, does one convert better than the other? And then same thing, okay, now we're getting people to start the quiz, but they're not completing it. We're losing them within the questions. On our growth plan, you can see right here, drop off, which question are we losing people on? Let's move it further. Like if, I don't know, if everyone's dropping out on question 1, maybe it's too hard to answer, or it's not what they thought the quiz would be. Move it down to the end of your quiz, get rid of it, change it. So you're able to use these analytics to make really small tweaks to your quiz. So you can actually figure out what's driving the difference. Where are people getting stuck in this funnel? And how can you start moving them through it so they do become a lead?
Yeah, I love that. That's really cool that you have these kind of stats available. And like, if someone is not having like that big of an audience, maybe they are starting out, where would you actually start promoting your quiz to actually get your first few people, or your first, ideally
Great
your first few
question.
hundred?
Yeah, I would say wherever your ideal customer is hanging out online. So if that's Facebook, promote the quiz on Facebook. If that's on Instagram, do it on Instagram. If those people are on Pinterest, put it on Pinterest. If they're in Reddit threads, right, answer their questions with your own quiz in those Reddit threads. It really depends on who are you trying to attract and where are those people on the online. Go to that platform.
Yeah, exactly. And also it's about adding value. So you're not just pitching your quiz, right? But I think with a quiz, maybe it's a little bit enticing for people to take it as well. So you can like maybe lead with some value first, and then you can kind of like lead them to your quiz, or maybe you have some kind of freebie that goes along with it or something, you can maybe then do it, because free, these platforms, you need to just still engage, because otherwise the reach is not, if you just pitch a link, it's not always there. So you have to like keep that in mind when you're doing that on Facebook, Instagram, and whatever
Which
platform you're
does go
using.
back to, is this the best quiz title for who you're trying to attract?
Hmm.
Because if that quiz title isn't converting, if people aren't clicking in on it, then they probably are looking for something else. So if that's not a quiz, then yes, absolutely. Answer them with whatever it is that they're looking for. But if your quiz, like, I don't know, if somebody's asking, which email marketing system should I use? Save yourself some time and be like, oh, I created a whole quiz that based on what it is you're looking for, will recommend the right product. I
Yeah.
could recommend a product to you, but I need to know a little bit more about you and how
Exactly.
you're
If
using it
if
and
you're
why.
telling people this, like in the answer, let's say they're asking, "What's the I just created this awesome resource where I go through the best email marketing software based on your unique situation as an entrepreneur or creator or whatever. Then they will be they will be excited to take it. They will not feel like pitched, So I think that is the key, kind of how you word it. So you're just not pitching a link without any context. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, because it feels more like a conversation as opposed to, oh, Navid's trying to sell me something,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this has been awesome. You showed some really cool stuff, how to use, AI and ChatGPT to create your quiz, and also with the Interact quiz builder, it's even easier. And I know you're building this right into the software, so probably very soon you have everything in there. So if you want to check this out, actually, you can go to navid.link/interact. Check out everything they have to offer there. And do you have any final words, Jackie, for the audience here before we
Yes, I do. I want to show off our last feature, Interact AI, which is in assisted beta. So you'll work with someone, or someone on the Interact team will receive this request and actually build the quiz
I was excited
for you.
that you're showing this. This is what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, and so this is where, if you are ready to use a quiz, simply click Create Quiz, give us your website. I think I have to actually fill this out to go to the next. And then you can tell us if you have a quiz title in mind, or if you don't, and then sign up for an Interact account, which will be completely free. And then you're able to get a quiz put right into your account so you can start playing around with it without having to do any of this work of really figuring out the strategy behind it. We can put an idea in front of you and then you're allowed to run with it.
Yeah, and then you have different plans and stuff like that, but you can get started to test it out for free, and that's really cool that you can get actually this built with, and then pretty soon you have actually the AI built in, so you can actually do all this yourself, right? So you get the quiz.
I'm waiting for the day, Navid, because we get tons of requests through the forum, and yeah, we're just a team of 10. Yeah. There's about 3 to 5 of us that are going through the requests every day, and it's getting to be a lot, even though we're able to support people really quickly with it. But yeah, we're thrilled with the progress that we've made with it so far, what it's been able to do, going from 5 weeks of coaching to this. We're definitely getting there, but it will be here soon. And then yes, you will be able to use it as many times as you would like to build out your quizzes.
Awesome. I mean, this has been so valuable. Leave your biggest takeaways in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and check out Interact if you're interested to build your own quiz funnel and make it easier with AI. navid.link/interact. And yeah, if you want more videos like this, stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Ciao for now.